Yo, what is up, guys? Welcome to a brand new presentation. Today, I have a super frequently asked question that I get asked all the time. This one's actually from one of my clients during my check-in form, but he basically asked me, when I eat out, how can I add this to my calories and macros during the day on the MyFitnessPal app, right? Super common thing, especially if you like eating out, whether it's like on the weekends, maybe you like to go to like a fancy restaurant to sit down, or maybe it's during the week, maybe you want to order some fast food because you're like out of time, whatever it may be. These are some actionable tips and strategies that you can implement right away to actually help you stay on track with your fitness goals while still eating out, eating your favorite foods, all that fun stuff, right? And so although it can be a challenge to manage your calories and stuff, with the right approach, the approach I'm going to tell you right now, it can actually be a lot easier than it sounds. So let's just dive straight into it. So the first thing that I want you to kind of do right away is plan ahead. Like if you wake up this morning and you had no idea you're going to be going out to restaurants either for breakfast or for brunch or lunch or dinner, it's like one of those things where if you plan to fill or if you fill to prepare, you prepare to fill, basically, right? So usually speaking, whenever I go out, as you guys know, if you follow me on Instagram, you know I like eating sushi with my friends, right? Like I always usually plan it out at least a couple of days in advance, right? If not, maybe like a week or so, right? Not only for myself to like mentally prepare for that, but also just for my macros, right? Because if I know that, okay, today is Monday, but then on Saturday, for example, me and the boys or me and the lads or me and my wife, I don't have a wife, but if you have a wife or your partner, whatever, you guys have like date nights on a certain day, it's like you not only get to look forward to that, but you can actually plan accordingly. And so oftentimes, guys, many restaurants actually have menus available online. So you can literally, a couple of days in advance, go on your phone or go online and search up, let's say you're going to whatever, sushi place or Subway, hopefully it's on McDonald's. Most restaurants have whatever, like their website and menus online. And some of them as well actually have their calories written right next to it. And so when you plan ahead, it actually allows you to almost like pre-track your food on that specific day. So let's say today's Monday and you look on Saturday when you're going to be going out, so you can look on the menu. Let's say you go to sushi and you really like this specific sushi roll, right? It's like, okay, on the website online, this is what it's called. And actually next to it, awesome, it says it has 800 calories. Well, it's like, okay, well, if I know that my macros every single day are going to be, let's say, 2,000 calories, well, then all I know what I should be doing is that I can have 1,200 calories leading up to that specific day on Saturday, for example, right? So that's one thing that you can do right away. So the sooner you can plan, the more likely that you can actually prepare more for that, and the less likely that you'll be able to like overdo it, basically, right? So yeah, many restaurants, like I mentioned, have their menus available online, so try to check out the menu beforehand. This also allows you to make more informed decisions about what to order and also helps you estimate the calorie and macro content of each meal in advance. I don't know about you guys, but whenever I go to a restaurant, I sometimes just get overwhelmed by and bombarded by all the different choices they have. It's like, oh, they got the pizza, they got the burgers, they got the fries, they got the salads. It's like, oh, I want it all, right? So it's like, if you actually plan ahead, it's like, okay, I already know I'm going to get this, so I don't have to like spend aimless time looking at the menu, distracting myself, right? So that's definitely helps with that as well. The second thing here is try to like choose wisely. So look for healthier options on the menu. So instead of getting like the fried chicken, try to get the grilled chicken, for example, right? Or the baked proteins. Same thing with like your salads with lean proteins. And if they ask for like, do you want a side on that? Choose the vegetable sides. Like don't maybe, instead of like getting the fries, maybe get like a salad on the side or maybe some steamed vegetables on the side, right? Try to avoid foods that are obviously fried or even like sauces that are super creamy or loaded with a bunch of cheese or sauces, as obviously these tend to be higher in calories. I know some people as well like to like order the sauce, for example, like the dressing or the whatever on the side. So instead of them like smothering on top, you can actually just like have a little bit of it and then not all of the sauce, right? Because you'd be surprised, even in ketchup, for example, 20 calories per tablespoon, that can definitely add up, especially if you eat your French fries. A couple squirts of that, so you can easily add up to 100 calories just from ketchup alone, right? Let alone the mayonnaises, the honey mustards, the Italian dressings on your salads, for example, the Caesar salad. A lot of people think the Caesar salad is super, super healthy, but with the dressing and the croutons and the bacon bits and stuff, it's like it actually adds a lot of calories, right? Which is actually quite funny. But anyway, one thing as well that you can do at a restaurant, most of them, you can actually customize your order. So don't, I mean, yeah, you will be that guy or that gal at the restaurant, but don't hesitate to like ask for modifications that actually suit your dietary preferences, because especially nowadays, like there's so many people with like, oh, I can't have dairy, I'm lactose intolerant, oh, I'm vegan, oh, I need it to be gluten free. So like most restaurants nowadays are pretty used to having like modifications based on the menu item, right? Like I am that guy where I try to avoid having dairy. So if I order like a burger, for example, I'm like asking like, hey, don't put the cheese on top, please. Or when I get sushi, for example, same thing. Like they tend to like put the mayonnaise on the top sometimes as well. Like I hate that. It's like, hey, can you please give me this, but then without the mayonnaise, and you actually like they're actually like one step less for them, so it actually helps them out as well. So yeah, definitely don't be scared to like do that. I usually do that all the time whenever I go to a restaurant. I'm like, hey, I like to like make a modification to this. Most of the time, it's not a big deal. You can even request like get grilled stuff instead of like fried stuff. Like I mentioned, dressing on the side, or substitute steamed vegetables for like your fries or any type of fried food instead, right? And now during this time, when you're at a restaurant, you can actually use the MyFitnessPal app to track your meal in real time. So you can search for the restaurants or for their menu as well, and then look for the items. You can even like scan the barcodes as well if they're available. And then you can also just like in real time, just be mindful of portion sizes and just try your best to estimate them as accurately as possible, because whenever you eat something that isn't made by you, whether it's your mom making you food or your brother, your sister, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, whoever is making food for you, it's never going to be accurate. Even like the pre-made foods are never going to be 100% accurate, right? And especially when you go out to eat, I'd rather want you guys to overestimate on your calories as opposed to underestimate. So let's say, even if the menu says this menu item has 600 calories, try to leave around 7 or 800 calories left in your calories for the day, just to make up for some errors, basically. Because at the end of the day, guys, what is the ultimate purpose of the chefs in the back of the kitchen? Are they trying to like make it as healthy, macro friendly as possible, or are they trying to make it as tasty as possible? They're trying to make it as tasty as possible, right? And the way you make things tastier is, you guessed it, by adding more butters, more oils, more seasonings, more salt, more everything to enhance the flavor, which therefore, unfortunately, also adds a lot more calories to the meal. And so you never know what they do in the back of the kitchen, right? I mean, again, chefs, they don't really, for the most part, especially if they're like a legit, authentic chef, they don't have measuring spoons. They don't have a food scale in the back of the kitchen. They do everything based off taste, right? They'll taste it. It's like, okay, this needs a bit more butter. That needs a bit less olive oil. This needs a bit more pasta. That needs a bit more of that. Like, it's like they go based off feel. They don't go based off macros. They don't go based off calories. They go based off feel. So just keep that in mind. I noticed that as well in real life, especially when you're like around people that are like our actual chefs. It's like you'll notice that, okay, like, yeah, this is what they do. So definitely spare some calories more than you anticipate whenever you eat out. And then again, kind of going back to what I just said, be mindful of your portions. So at restaurants, portion sizes tend to be a lot larger than what you may eat regularly at home, right? So either consider sharing one of your entrees with a friend, or ask for a go-to box. So like, don't feel the need to like finish the entire meal in one go. Although I always do that personally. Like, I'm like, okay, I paid for this, I want to finish it all. But if it's like, okay, like this is too much for me, or like I want to save some of the calories, or at least I want to save some for later, definitely go ahead and get a a to-go box to portion out part of your meal before you start eating. This can also help prevent overeating on your calories, and also allows you to enjoy your favorite dishes without necessarily having to like overdo it on the calories, right? Big tip here, guys, watch your liquid calories, like watch your beverages or drinks like sodas, juices, alcoholic drinks, beers, wines can all add a huge amount of calories to your meals. So whenever I go out, it's like, here's the thing, guys, like if you eat out, it's like I'm there for the food. I don't care about the drinks. Like, okay, personally, I'm pretty biased because I don't really drink alcohol. But like, just stick to a water. Like, you're already not wasting, but like you're already consuming so many calories on like the actual food, the tasting experience. Why add even more calories on like the drink that you can just have at home as well, right? So if you do want to have a tastier drink, either opt for water or lemon water or sparkling water, or opt for like 0-calorie soda, right? Like 0-calorie like diet soda, or like a Diet Coke, Diet Pepsi, Diet Fanta. Like there's a lot of diet soda alternatives out there. So especially if I see someone drink a sugary soda, I'm like, okay, like why? Like just why, right? Just opt for the diet soda, 0 calories. You can still have, in my opinion, still tastes the same. If it still kind of tastes weird to you, trust me, you'll get used to it. But I'd rather have something that's 0 calories and actually still tastes pretty darn good than having like a super high calorie, high sugary drink that's I could just have a 0 calorie alternative for. Imagine eating a burger, like a super tasty burger, or like not as good of a burger, but it has 0 calories. Are you kidding me? Like, I eat a 0 calorie burger all day long. Even if it doesn't taste as good, like I still have it, right? So that's kind of like how I like to compare it. And then again, when you go to restaurants, try to, if you can, be as healthy as you can. So try to prioritize like proteins and vegetables. Aim to include a source of lean protein in and plenty of vegetables in your meals. So whenever I do go to a restaurant, I always am mindful of the protein. So I never order like a vegetarian dish. I'm like, no, I need the protein. Like either it's like a steak or like a beef or like a chicken thing, whatever may be like a good source of protein, shrimp, fish, something like that, just so I can actually hit my protein goals too. And then if they can load up in veggies, like please sign me up. Fajitas are awesome. Sushi places as well. If you get like some on the side, maybe some seaweed salad or like a salad on the side. If you go to an Italian place, if you get maybe like a pizza, get like a salad on the side, whatever it may be, right? And now one last thing before I do let you guys go. I know I'm kind of like talking a bit in depth, but hopefully these tips are kind of like helping you guys out. But at the end of the day, like I mentioned, you will not be perfect, so don't stress over perfection. So while it is important to still be mindful of your food choices, it is also okay to overindulge occasionally, right? It's like you don't have to be perfect. If you go over your calories or macronutrient goals for one meal, simply get back on track again the next day, right? Like just to compensate. Like I mess up all the time. Pro bodybuilders mess up all the time. Like the people that are in shape right now mess up all the time. But the only difference between the people that are in shape versus those who aren't simply comes down to consistency. And what I mean by that is that, yes, we all mess up from time to time. We all go out to restaurants. We all eat a bit too much food than we should have. That's okay. But they consistently, the people in shape, they consistently get back on track again, right? So they do not let one cheat day or one cheat meal derail them from getting back on track again. Because I see this far too often, especially with beginners. They'll be like, okay, I'm going to go out tonight. It's like, okay, I've been really good for 6 days. I'm going to go out tonight. They eat a bunch of food. They wake up the next morning feeling bloated. They hop on a scale. They gain a bunch of water weight. And you're like, oh, I've lost all my progress. And then they go back to their old eating habits again, and they just completely stop their whole fitness journey, right? It's just because of one bad cheat meal or one maybe bad cheat day, for example, right? Like, don't do that. Like, don't let that be you. Like, we all mess up, so just get back on track again, and then boom, there you go. Pretty simple, right? And then ultimately focus on balance. So remember that overall balance and consistency are the key to long-term success. So aim to make mostly healthy choices most of the time, but allow yourself the flexibility to still enjoy your treats and special occasions in moderation, right? I always stress this to you guys, but follow the 80-20 rule. So 80% of the time, make sure you're eating whole, natural, single ingredient food, so that the other 20%, you can definitely indulge in other junk or street food you may desire, right? And now I do have my entire eating out guide that you have access to in my Barbarian squad in the school community, so you can download it there. And it's basically a PDF that you can download on your phone or computer, save it with you, have it with you whenever you go out. And these are just some good tips and habits to know that whenever you go eat out, you kind of like have these tips in the back of your mind to make sure that, okay, it is okay if I eat out because I can just follow these tips, right? So I'll let you guys go. If you have any specific questions for me regarding this, please let me know, and I'll see y'all soon. Peace.